Hello, everybody, and thank you for again tuning in to one of our live streams. Tonight we are joined by Jason. We're really excited to ask him some questions about AOL. Jason, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? And then I'm going to ask you some fun questions. So you.
Sounds great. Thank you very much. So I've been with Academy of Learning for almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years in September. I've been working with adult education for over 5. I am an admissions advisor, which means I get to deal with all of the student applicants first things first to try to find them the best fit for what their career goals are. And you get to make a lot of friends this way.
So you're the perfect person to ask all of the questions to.
All the tough questions, absolutely.
Nice. So if anyone has any questions throughout this presentation, chats, make sure to put them in the comments so Jason can give you the best detailed answers that I would never be able to give you because I don't know them. Okay, so to get to know you better, these are fun questions, or I think they're fun questions anyways.
Okay.
And you could be honest. You could tell me if you don't like them. My feelings won't be hurt. So the first question is, what is your favorite book or movie? Whichever one you're into more, if you're more of a book guy or more of a movie guy.
Okay, that's a very deep rabbit hole to tumble down to.
Oh, no.
It would have been movies. I was a very, very large Star Wars fan. I still am, just some movies don't count. If we're looking at books, lately I've been revisiting some of Stephen King's work and some of the 1970s science fiction, like Michael Crichton's Andromeda Strain, and kind of relevant given Corona. So
yeah, fair enough.
yeah, a little bit of stuff like that.
Nice. It's definitely sci-fi.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Next question.
Definitely, yeah.
Nice. What is your dream vacation?
I would have to say that would be probably a year of nothing to do but vacation at your schedule. So that would probably include a Mediterranean cruise. That would probably include a little bit of backpack through Central and Western Europe. I'd like to go to Scotland. I don't know how much I'd remember of it. There's going to be some very good Scotch.
Yes. Yes.
Very, very good locations to visit there. And then I would like to try to see some of the world festivals that you just don't get here in North America. The Running of the Bulls, if they're ever getting back into doing that, it would be something to see. I would not participate. That'd be something to see for sure.
Yeah, those are some pretty detailed plans. The whole part where it's like a year to do whatever you want, that is clever. I've never answered the question like that, but I'm stealing it if that's cool.
By all means, I think everyone should have that opportunity to actually take the time to into the vacation instead of running on a schedule and getting sick, and your traffic is causing your plane to be delayed, and you can't find your luggage. A lot of people remember the lows of their vacation, or the highlights. It's that middle part where you're spending most of your time that you should really be enjoying.
Yeah, that's a super good point. See, already off to having good answers. This is going to be great. And then last question. This one's a little weird, but I think it's fun. If you had to combine two random flavors to make a new flavor of ice cream, what flavors would you combine?
Okay. I've been watching some YouTube lately where apparently watermelon and mustard taste really great together, and I'm not brave enough to try that. But some of my friends tried that as well, and they swear by it. So I don't know if we're friends anymore.
Oh wow! Yeah, that's
if we're going for something if we're going for something a little bit more traditional, I'd have to say something along the lines of like chocolate and like hot pepper.
Ooh,
trying to go for a Central American kind of a zingy sweet.
Yeah, I actually think the chocolate and pepper would be good. I think that's a good call. Nicely done. Okay, so now that we know you a
I
little bit
tried.
better, yeah, we're gonna jump into the presentation, I guess. So just really quickly
Sure,
before I
yeah.
get some questions, for this live stream, we're going to kind of chat about what is Academy of Learning, what programs are offered, how to figure out what you want to take, um, why flexible schedules and self-paced learning is important, and how to find quick
Yes.
success during our time. So we're going to cover a lot. And again, if you have any questions, toss them in the comments and we will answer. The way that I'm going to do it, if it's cool with you, is I'm just going to put the questions in the comments and then put them up on the screen. So if people pop in and out, they kind of know what you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm just going to grab the first question here, plop it in the comments. Okay, so our first question is going to be, and you covered a little bit of this, but let's go into a little bit more detail, is telling us about you and your role at the Academy of Learning.
Perfect. So I'm an admissions advisor, so I am the person who deals first with any sort of student inquiries or intending. You're going to be speaking to me or one of my colleagues so that we can address your concerns. We can find out why you want to come to school, what you want to do, help you get into the program that you're looking for, work through your schedule, help you get your funding in order so that no one has to stress about the money. That's always a common concern. And then I'm going to be there throughout your entire program. Not necessarily in the spotlight, but I'm always there to talk to. If you're having some troubles, give me a shout. We can maybe direct you to the right people. If you've got someone who's also interested, drop me their name, drop me their number. We can get in touch and maybe see if we can help someone else find the success that you just found.
Yeah, what you just said reminded me, we do have a really cool promotion going on, and I think it's kind of an always thing now, but could you tell everyone about our referral program that we just kind of expanded?
Yeah, absolutely. The referral program is a big thing that we like to support. Everybody is the best source of marketing we could ever hope to find, right? The word of mouth is very important. We always look for the referral of someone we trust, someone who knows. I don't go to a restaurant where I'm going to be spending a lot of money if I don't know that someone liked the food there. So for the referral process that we have here, if you refer a friend and they start, you qualify $50 when they start. It's as easy as that. As a student, as someone who's working towards future career goals, earning money while you're in school sounds tough, but it can be pretty easy when you're doing it this way.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I love that you are there with the students every step of the way. So it's not just that you get them into classes and then you wave them off to school and, pat them on the back, never see
Yeah,
them again. Cool that you kind of
yeah.
go on that journey with everyone.
There's some schools that are going to be very very quick to grab your attention, and then they're just going to let you wander off on your own. We don't like to do that, because we're a part of your process. We want to see you succeed. We want to be there to help you if you fall, and throughout your entire time with us, we're going to be part of your life. You're going to be a part of ours, and we want that relationship to be a good one.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so the next question kind of leads, I think, a little bit into what you just said, because what you just said does definitely set AOL apart from other people. But again, this is just expanding on it a little bit. So it's, why do you think that AOLCC is a great place to study, and what else sets us apart from other colleges?
All right. Well, and I've been in the industry for about 5 years now, so I've worked at some other colleges. I'm not going to name names, but AOL definitely cares about the students, and that's step one. You're not just a number. You're not just sucks in the hall. We have facilitators who are going to be working with you daily. Your instructors know you by name, not by number. If you're at campus, it's a close environment, small classes, friendly staff. We, again, want to be part of your success while you go through your education and your further career goals. There are some colleges that are just interested in getting you through the door and then out so that your chair is free for another student. We don't stop caring once you graduate the program. We want you to find success in your career. We want you to tell us about your career. We want to tell us, about what your struggles are, what your successes are. Again, you're going to be a part of Academy of Learning, not just when you're at school, but once you've graduated as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. And something that really contributes to, how the programs themselves are set up is our integrated learning system. So that's kind of our next question. Yes. Is what is it? Why does it matter? Why does it set us apart?
ILS is one of the great things that makes Academy of Learning worth being a part of. Integrated Learning System is what the ILS stands for. And with that program, a student is able to engage with the material directly. They're not filtered through lectures and indirect assignments. You're going to be working with the material at your own pace with the assistance of the facilitators, the instructors, and all the other support staff. And with that process, you can learn at your own speed. You can take many passes at it. If something isn't clicking, sometimes it's going to be repetition. Sometimes you need to take a different approach. The facilitators can help you with that by breaking down some of the problems and helping realign perhaps your perceptions of what the problem is, so that you're actually learning. You're not just seeing the problem.
Yeah, so it's really great too for learners of different types, because everybody kind of learns in a different way. So ILS gives you the opportunity to kind of specify the way you want to study so that it's the way that you understand things the best, which is really cool.
Absolutely. There's schools that are just sit down and listen to the instructor drone on for an hour. ILS doesn't do that. You are involved with the program from the time you start to the time you graduate.
Awesome. So our next question is kind of what happens next? So I know that because I didn't go to Academy of Learning, and my experience with graduating was, thanks for coming. It was great knowing you. Good luck out there. So AOL doesn't do that, which is, I think, incredible, because finding a job is so hard. So what does it look like finding a job after graduating with us?
Well, it actually sort of starts before you even finish your program. Towards the end of your academic progress, most programs will offer a practicum, which is real work experience on location in practical environments. We have many partners and many interested parties, some of our students, to help ease some of the. And during a practicum, we kind of consider that for many opportunities to be a 6-week, 8-week job interview. It's going to teach you practical sort of skills. You are going to be making connections in that field. When you do graduate, you are still going to be working with the staff who are going to be helping your job search. We have networks with a number of different sort of companies related to the programs that we teach. They will ask us, hey, who's graduated? We will like your applicants, send us a couple more. Again, we can't promise anyone a job. The future is a little murky, and the last couple of years have kind of proven that school is a little different, work is a little different, and just what we thought life was is going to be a little bit different. But you are not out of sight, out of mind as soon as you graduate the program. I'll work with you for as long as you're working with us to help you find work.
Yeah, that's amazing. So next question is about financing, and you kind of touched on this before too. Because the idea of paying for school can be really scary, because when people think of school, they think of student loans. And then when you think of student loans, you think of like paying them off for a really long time, or even being able to get them in the first place. So what kind of financing options are?
Yeah, financing is a kind of a big scary word for a lot of people. People don't like thinking about it's coming to them. What I sort of see the process as is, this is investing in yourself, and you are probably the most important thing you can invest in. What we do is we help you apply for student aid if you qualify. If you have means of paying for yourself, or you've got some sort of an account or a trust set up, that's absolutely fine. But for most people, it's going to be going through the student aid process. You're going to be looking for grants. They're going to be looking for scholarships. They're going to be looking for whatever little additives that they can kind of get to make the process more affordable and more comfortable while they're at school. So we help you with all steps, process. We help you with your application. We help you with the paperwork. We help you understand what is coming to you and when it's coming to you, so that there's no surprises and no guesswork, because the last thing anyone wants is a prize with money.
Yeah, no, that's super true. Yeah, that's incredible. I wish I'd had that kind of help, because I remember when I had to apply for student loans, it was finding out where to get them and how to do it and what does it all mean. So having someone there to kind of walk you through it and help you with it is so valuable, and it takes the fear out of it.
It absolutely does. And when it's working, it's not a very lengthy process. It's not a very complicated process. But there's kind of a language barrier. A lot of people aren't fluent in how to apply. By walking you through the process, you take more control of your funding, and you have more power in the relationship between your finances. That's a very comforting feeling, and that way you can actually focus on your studies instead of worrying about, what do I owe and can I do this?
Which is the important part too, right? Because if you're going to go to school and you're going to invest in yourself, you want to give as much effort as you can into actually learning what you're studying, because that's the valuable part.
Yeah. Absolutely. You want to go to school, but if you can't afford it, then you can't go to get the better job. You have to work the job you have, and it's just a vicious cycle. If you can see the path to your success, the only thing stopping you is just the ability to get that correct path, and that's what we're there to facilitate.
Nice. Okay, so this is kind of our last big question, and it's a little specific, but I figured that maybe we could walk through just like a really brief like description of like the top of the programs, like the base ones, and then maybe get some of your insights on what it's going to look like going back to normal, or whatever that kind of looks like now that we're kind of reopening. So I'm going to share the screen and let you go for it.
All right. So basically put, what we're looking at is a post-corona job and education environment. So basically put, what we tend to be looking at is careers in the healthcare industry, business and technology to be the big booming areas to get into. Obviously, with healthcare, the healthcare aid class has gone through some changes in the last year, making it a more valuable program. And clearly, with how we've been responding to the epidemic, healthcare jobs are more valuable than ever, and they are in increasing demand. Even without the epidemic, we have an aging population that also requires just more assistance. If we're looking into business opportunities, Alberta is a transitioning province. We're no longer all about oil. We haven't been for a while. We've just been kind of lying to ourselves. What we're looking at is trying to become a center of business, a center of technology, and a center of development. You're going to see a number of startups in Edmonton and Calgary. You're going to see a number of transitions, not just in Toronto and Vancouver, but as the prairies start to develop and increase in their influence, Edmonton and Calgary are just going to be growing. And as far as it goes for the technology industry, with the ever increasing presence and demand for skills, programming, technical language skills, there is some talk that Alberta could be the Canada Silicon Valley. Time's going to tell if that's going to happen or not, but the province is allocating significant funds and a significant amount of their energy towards seeing that happen. If we're getting out of the dinosaur ages with the oil and the settler industries that we had before, yeah, we're leaping right to the Starship Enterprise.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I have a quick question about these. So there is a lot of business stuff. Like there's a lot of different options here. So if I was looking at this as someone who is considering going to school and I didn't know the difference between admin assistant or admin support or business admin, is that something that I could still book an appointment to talk to you or another advisor who would be able to kind of help me figure out which spot would be best for me?
Absolutely. That's what we'd actually sort of recommend. You are a unique person. Every person is unique. And you have something different to offer, and you have different goals than the person I'm going to see before or after you. So what we want to do is help you find the best fit for your career goals to get on track so that you can get the job and the career you're looking for. Booking an appointment with an admissions advisor like myself or any of my peers allows us to sort of sit down and take a look at what direction you're going to find the best fit. The different programs are going to have different program durations. They're going to have, different content. Maybe you don't need as much technical training because you've been working in, reception for 10 years. But maybe you're trying to break into a new skill set. It's entirely possible that, we may come out of the meeting and you're looking at a career that we had neither considered before you sat down. But that's how sometimes these meetings go. You learn a lot about yourself when you start making those planning steps.
How do you do that? Is that just a conversation that you have and you kind of weasel out what someone's interests are, or is there some kind of aptitude test? What does it look like?
Well, honestly, a lot of it comes down to being skilled, one, in knowing what the programs are. Two, it's about being honest about what your career goal is as an applicant. And three, no, there's no magic. There's no mental probes or anything like that. It's really just looking at getting an honest assessment of what the career opportunities are in the province and what skills you are looking at developing. The programs stand on their own. We've been in the province doing this for about 25 years as of this year. We've been helping people for 25 years. So we're very practiced in this industry. And we've got a very good success rate with it. So if anyone's intimidated about meeting with someone, there's no pressure. Again, I'm here to help you meet your goals. We want to see you better yourself, and I think that's why you're coming to us.
Yes. Which one do you want to talk about next? I could choose if you don't want to choose. Accounting. I know community service is a really popular one.
Well, yeah, let's take a peek at that.
Okay.
Because first it goes for the community service programs. We've got two main, sort of directions with the community service worker. Community service worker with addictions is a specialized program in addition to that. And then on the other side of things, you have the education assistant. Both of those are trying to help vulnerable people in the province. With education assistant, you're definitely to help catch people before they have trouble in schools. If you are curious about perhaps getting a career in the classroom, this is often one of the stepping stones people may take before they decide to go and do a Bachelor of Education. Sometimes you take that 4-year commitment and then you realize maybe working with children isn't for you. But perhaps maybe working with a smaller group of special needs, or working with some development testing or assessment, that might be what you're kind of looking for. So instead of being upfront in front of 30, 40 children, maybe you get the opportunity to work with a smaller group of people that you can help more. If you're working with the community service worker in addictions, a sort of area, that deals far more than just with addictions. It can deal with mental illness or disability. It can deal with some personal finance and financial stress. It can deal with different forms of disability. There's a very broad category of substance that it can help with. Anyone who kind of wants to get into the field of social work, this is often where we're going to steer someone, and then they can kind of decide what kind of department or niche they want to fit in, so they can target that they want to do the most good with.
Yeah, that's incredible. I've also heard and honestly seen on the news that educational assistants and education in general, with the effects of COVID on schools, like there's a lot of jobs opening up in the future, maybe not in this moment because it's summertime, but to help the students catch up on what they missed out on last year.
Yes, yeah, with with the blended classes, with remote classes, and just even with the prevalent conditions that classes always get bigger and never smaller. Kids need help. The parents need people to help the kids because just being a parent doesn't make you a teacher. You've got to work too, right? So yeah, there's definitely a booming opportunity for educational assistants to assist with ratio per tutoring, with after-school programs, and with distance or blended learning programs. There's only one teacher typically in a classroom, but that's not the only source of education available to the students.
Mm-hmm. I think next, do you mind touching on technology? Because I know that we just added software and web developer is new, like really, really new. Yeah, which is exciting.
That is our newest program, and that's one we're super proud of. Given all the focus Alberta is going to be putting on developing the technical trades and technical skill sets of the province, this is where the future kind of is. The expectation once upon a time was that you could get a job if you could type 30 words in it. That was a while ago.
Yeah.
Now you need to be computer literate to function in elementary school. So it just keeps building and building. Now, software and web development tools, learning programming languages is going to be just as valuable, if not more, than anything else you can do soon. So being able to understand them and make them work for you is the priority of business. Again, we had things like Uber Eats and Skip the Dishes before COVID hit. They absolutely blew up once COVID hit because people weren't going into restaurants. But essentially, every store all of a sudden needed to have some sort of an online web page or online storefront and online delivery methods. Everyone is playing catch up, and now we're trying to get ahead of the curve. To keep that momentum going before the next thing hits. You're either ahead of it or you're responding to it. Alberta wants to be ahead of it.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. And then I think what we have been talking about in the daytime, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the accounting and like legal and those side of things, another really cool benefit to them is that they have been relatively COVID proof. Like even, at the worst, people still need accountants and they still need lawyers and they still need all of those services.
Yeah, those are the cornerstones of most businesses. Whether you are doing something on your own, you can kind of have your own part-time accounting, or you can be working for a corporate agency. Legal always has a place in the modern world. It's only ever increasing in complexity, which means people need greater and greater access to those services and skills. They're cornerstone businesses to our modern culture. Any interest in that? That's definitely a place I would want to have a conversation with someone about.
Amazing. So I think at this point, we've kind of burned through all of our questions. And for the most part, it's been you and me. So I've learned a lot. Thank you.
That's fair.
Yeah. I guess just in case someone pops in on this last second, please leave comments. We'll get back to them if you have any. And you can always go to the academyoflearning.ab.ca/apply to set up a meeting, maybe even with Jason. And he seems pretty cool.
Maybe.
So that would be great. Okay. Thank you so much. You were amazing. But I think we're done for today.
All right. Well, yeah. I look forward to speaking with anyone if they've got any questions. Otherwise, this has been a fantastic time. Thank you very much.
Hey, have a good night, Jason. Thank you.
You too. Take care.